Hi everyone, Renee here, and today's video is going to be all about my favorite eye moisturizers. A lot of you have been pleading for me to do an updated video on this. Completely reasonable request. I think the last time I did this video was around the time my channel first started, and it was like over 2.5 years ago. And I'm also really excited to share with you some of my new favorites. So not everyone feels the need for a separate eye cream. That's completely fine. I would say for a while, I didn't have a separate product for eye cream. But that has really changed for a long time now. I do sort of value a separate product. I do prefer a very targeted approach to skincare. My eyes tend to be very sensitive, and not every product that is created for the face is actually tested for the eyes. In fact, very, very few of them, because it's a very expensive thing to do. Hence the common disclaimer, don't use this product around eyes, mainly because it just hasn't been tested for the eye area. And a lot of eye creams out there have been ophthalmologist tested. And with the eye creams that I use, there's something about the way they're formulated, whether it's the weight or whether it's the way they absorb, but they do not tend to migrate into my eyes and cause that blurry vision, which is a big thing for me. The blurry vision really, really bothers me. I can even tell when I'm using face creams a little too close to my eye area, because that will cause blurry vision. So I'm also prone to milia, so a lot of the face creams I use, particularly during the winter time when my skin is actually drier, tend to be very emollient and way too emollient, and it will create those little clogged, bumps. So whatever I use for my eyes will always need to be lighter in weight or emollients than what I use for the rest of my face. And also with certain type of actives like vitamin C or retinols or glycolic acids, I feel like they need to be formulated differently for the area around the eyes. This is something, of course, I learned the hard way. I have put regular actives for my face around the eye area and really suffered. Probably the worst was last year when I used a retinol and I put it around here. It was not pretty. There's certain ingredients that I really love around this area that I don't necessarily need for the rest of my face. I want to reiterate what I said in my first eye creams video, that I have a very measured expectation for eye creams and what they can and cannot do for my eyes. I look for moisturization, prevention, protection, temporary relief and soothing and coolness, maybe depuffing. Products that do not exacerbate or encourage milia, puffiness, or irritation. And, of course, I want it to sit really well under makeup. That's not too much to ask for, is it? So I use eye gels a lot in the summer, particularly in my morning routine, because they're just so refreshing and lightweight. Especially if I'm in a very humid climate. If I'm in Asia, eye gels are pretty much all I need in the morning. One of my main eye concerns is actually puffiness. I have herniated fat pads under my eyes, and also sometimes I wake up in the morning and I don't have an eyelid. Sometimes eye creams, depending on how my skin is feeling, can exacerbate the puffiness, or it can make it just a little too heavy. So eye gels is something I turn to often. I can use these on the upper eyelid in the morning without worrying about it getting just too heavy and droopy. And, when you have eyes like mine, every single little fraction of a millimeter counts. And sometimes when I do start seeing milia seeds forming, I will immediately switch to an eye gel, even at nighttime. Alba Botanica's Revitalizing Green Tea Hawaiian Eye Gel is one that I just fell in love with for its simplicity, but just a beautiful combination of ingredients as well. This is purely hydration, revitalizing. It's got antioxidants in it. There are no oils in here, so if you don't want any oils around this area, if you are going through a milia phase, this may be great for you. There's no scent, except for maybe a very slight natural cucumber one. There's also no silicones in here. This actually helps so much during my springtime allergies when they were at their worst. And I was really careful about the products I put around my eyes, because I would, look, I'm human, I would rub them. For tired, puffy eyes, this is so super hydrating. This will plump your skin out, but also it will just soothe and calm it down. This has aloe, green tea, cucumber, chamomile, obviously hyaluronic acid and vitamin B5 for extra skin plumping and hydration. All these ingredients that are just so great at decreasing inflammation. But this also has magnesium ascorbyl phosphate, which is a derivative vitamin C, which I spoke about, and that's really good for even helping with brightening around the eye area. This leaves your under eye area feeling just really smooth, soft, hydrated. It's a great option for guys. And also, if you are a teenager in your early 20s, you don't really have visible signs of anything yet. You just want a product to sort of moisturize and protect your under eye area and refresh it, then this is perfect for you. For drier winter months, months or more mature skin, this may not be moisturizing enough, but this is also a good product that you can layer over a sort of more concentrated eye serum to it. For an eye gel with that extra pop to it, my favorite would be this one from Bioessence, the Squalane and Peptide Eye Gel. This was in my skincare routine last summer. I've been a big fan. This has been both dermatologist and ophthalmologist tested. Like this formula, it also has the aloe, the green tea, cucumber, vitamin B5, and sodium hyaluronate. But it's got some additional fabulous ingredients in it, like squalane, of course. The basis of this brand is squalane. There's niacinamide, algae, vitamin E, but also they use THD, which is another vitamin C derivative that is just really great at targeting hyperpigmentation, at brightening the skin. And there's also caffeine, which is great for the depuffing. I really feel that after I use this, my eyes just feel just a lot brighter and more wide awake, and everything does feel less puffy. There are also two peptides in here that have become sort of well known for the eye area. One is called iceril and the other is argireline. Argireline is a peptide that you often see in those eye products, in those infomercials where like a man with huge eye bags use the product, and then within seconds the bags just kind of disappear and the whole eye tightens. Argireline is one of those ingredients that do that. Obviously, the results aren't as extreme as you see in those commercials, but I do feel a little bit of tightening up when I use this. This is absolutely a new favorite category for me. I have used the pure unscented carrier oils under my eyes before, but always only at night because there will definitely be the migration and the blurring. But now we have these eye oil blends that are formulated not to do that. So they are oils, but there's something, again, in the way they just sort of absorb and sink into your skin that does not allow for any of that sort of migration, and they're just not greasy. It's a bit of a dream because these blends are about as nourishing and concentrated as they come. There are no fillers. There's no water. These are waterless formulations. They're formulated in a way where they're still dry, but they're not too dry. They still contain some of the, more fatty and moisturizing oils as well, but it just does not feel that way. And so as always, I'm starting off with one that is the more simple formula, but by no means simple. From Sundari, their chamomile eye oil. I bought this on the name alone. I love chamomile. I love chamomile tea. Just the scent, the way it smells already puts my mind in a state of relaxation. It's a beautiful herbal flower, and the addition of the oil in this just makes it so heavenly. It just smells like chamomile tea. Out of all the other eye oils that I'm loving right now, I would say the packaging for this is my least favorite. I use this the same way I would use a perfume, but do note that you need very, very little. If you use too much, it will take a little more time to sink in, but once it does, it disappears, and still, it will not migrate and give you blurry vision. It won't go into your eyes. This sits in a beautiful base of jojoba, sweet almond, and nourishing avocado oil, but this also contains aloe vera and the antioxidant powerhouse of vitamin C and E. The vitamin C we're talking about is ascorbic acid, the real deal, but this also contains ascorbyl phosphate as well. And of course, the chamomile, it's such a beautiful formulation. It's rich, but it's not. This is great for all skin types, younger skin as well. But yeah, it's just Core Organics Noni Radiant Eye Oil. I bought this the minute I saw it. I didn't even hesitate for a second. I was just so curious and I really wanted to try it. And I have to say that I actually prefer this so much more to their regular facial oil. There's just a little bit of magic in here. The rollerball applicator works particularly well for eye oils, in my opinion, because you will never have too much coming out of it. And it just applies that perfect thin layer. And I could even use this to massage around my eyes, and you'll never have too much product. This comes out oily on your skin, but the minute you pat it in, it just disappears and it just leaves this area just super soft and smooth. I don't even understand. It's like makeup wears beautifully over this, but makeup just wears beautifully over oils, period. Some of the most resistant eyeliners or mascaras that I have will still smudge when I use certain heavier eye creams because, they're not oil proof, so they will smudge. But with this, nothing. In addition to a beautiful blend of oils, some which are just so moisturizing, but there's also some beautiful fruit extracts and caffeine. Great for the depuffing along with the rollerball. It's actually really does help with the depuffing, but also there's calendula. Calendula to me is one of the most effective skin soothers around. This is a beautiful blend for those who just need a little more moisturization. If you are concerned with signs of aging, or during drier months and drier climates, this is great for that. This has no scent to it at all. Another fabulous eye oil for age prevention. It's full of antioxidants, but it's also really luxurious for the senses as well. And if that's something you really want, then you would love the French Girl Under Eye Oil. This one is relatively newer to me, but it's just so beautiful, focusing on oils with some of the highest antioxidant levels, like rosehip, argan oil, tsubaki, or camellia oil, pomegranate. There's also vitamin E, evening primrose oil, and chia, which is sort of fast becoming one of my new favorites. But what just really appeals to my senses is it's also got that beautiful rose. It's got yarrow, which is just wonderfully soothing and calming, but also the most luxurious of them all, it's got immortelle. The part of me that just loves the whole luxurious experience is just so in love with this. But also the neroli is a big component of it. And neroli is also known as the sort of glow oil, the oil that gives you a beautiful radiance. It's such a privilege to have gotten my hands on this beautiful thing here since the spring. And I've not been able to talk about it because it only just launched like last week. Therese Intense Eye Oil. This is a pricey treatment, but what's special about this is it's a retinol oil. So it is basically the eye equivalent of Luna or Plume Mortar's Superstar. Therese is pretty much the ultimate when it comes to natural, clean skincare. I am glad the packaging doesn't allow any light or anything to go in. There are a few things going on here, and in the time that I have been using it, I do feel like it's really smoothed this area out quite a bit. And I feel like it has actually made my skin less like puffy and droopy. This uses hydroxypinocolone retinoate, the same that is used in the ordinary retinols and Luna and Superstar. I asked Arabella what the difference between her night facial oil is and her eye oil, because there isn't a huge difference in the price, although there is a significant one in the quantity of each. Straight off the bat, I can tell you that there is a difference in the texture, for sure. This is more like a regular oil, the way it sits on your face and the way it absorbs, whereas this definitely just kind of sinks in and disappears. So she said to me that it definitely was just a little more complicated process because there's so many more things to consider when it comes to an oil around the eye area. And a lot of it, again, is what I mentioned about, it not being so dry that it can actually just sort of not moisturize the skin around this area, but also allowing for the beautiful moisturizing oils to be delivered in a way that it just is not heavy. This also contains a few extra plant ingredients that are not in this regular oil, which is shown to have a more targeted effect at brightening and tightening cell turnover, such as sweet iris and tuberose. This is definitely the kind of product that I want to be using around my eye area right now. If you are resistant to using any kind of retinols around this area, even if they are formulated for the eyes, then this is sort of a great alternative. But I am kind of enjoying this sort of new age retinoid thing. So my eye creams have distinctively gotten on the lighter side, but that's not to say that they're less moisturizing. I just feel that eye creams, their formulas, have actually gotten more moisturizing, but the texture has actually gotten lighter, which is all great. So this product I consider like a treatment that I use during certain periods of time, but not all the time. Especially during this last winter, which was just so dry, when I just felt like I had such an accumulation of I also had milia sprouting, so clearly there needed to be a little bit of help with the cell turnover around this area. The time that I was using this, it helped with a lot of things. This is a specially formulated glycolic eye treatment. Our under eye areas, especially as you're aging, does require that extra help, not only for cell turnover and regeneration, but also for hyperpigmentation and brightening. This is pH balanced to be effective and non-irritating, and I can tell you it is just not irritating at all. This is something that you can use a few times a week. You don't have to use it every single day, twice a day. I certainly do not use this during the daytime. It's only a night treatment for me. I also probably wouldn't really use this on the upper mobile lid. I only use this on my under eyes. This also contains some peptides to further strengthen your skin. It's sort of like an emulsion to me. There's something super, super hydrating about this formula. There's a beautiful balance of oils in here, even though it's not oily, no scent, and I really feel like this has really helped at keeping milia at bay and making sure that the ones that are there just disappear. Belief's Moisturizing Eye Balm was my superstar eye product of last year. I absolutely love this eye cream. You've got the best of many worlds here. Texture-wise, it's about as lightweight. It's like a gelish cream, but moisturizing-wise, it really moisturizes and it's super hydrating. It's also a great product to wear under makeup because it just smooths everything out. So again, there are like less cracks, there are less creases. I've said this many times before, Belief eye creams are just so solid. This has all those beautiful, soothing apothecarian plant and herbal extracts in it. It doesn't have like a bunch of fancy peptides in it. That being said, if you do have dry and mature skin and you've got lines on your eyes, I feel this would really kind of help plump them out. Manya Factorize Bifidolacto eye cream is just so special to me, and it's exactly the kind of skincare, Asian skincare that I love. It is just so super concentrated. But also, look at the size of this tube. This is 1 ounce. Usually eye creams are a third of this quantity. A few years ago, I did use the SK2 RNA Power Eye Cream. So if you are curious about that product, and many of you have asked me about it, I actually would recommend giving this a go. There's no water in this eye cream. There are no silicones either, but what a lightweight, gorgeous texture it has. It's just mind-boggling. This formula contains 64% bifidolacto complex, which is all probiotics. It's all probiotic enzymes, pumpkin ferment filtrate, but this also has galactomyces in here. This contains 4 peptides, one of which are my favorite, which is the copper tripeptides. There's also amino acids, and it has one of my favorite all-time ingredients, which is ginseng. I did not hesitate for a second to get this and use this, given how much I am absolutely in love with their bifidolacto complex serum for the face. I stand by it still being better than any of the comparable night serums out there. Probiotics, fermented ingredients, these are all fantastic for having a really healthy microbiome, and it will really sort of strengthen the skin around here. But also it has a wonderful sort of subtle smoothing effect as well. It will increase the cell turnover. So after using this, my skin is just so smooth under my eyes, and I don't really have like any problems with flaking that I usually do and becomes so apparent whenever I use concealer. Drunk Elephant Sea Tango definitely was my eye cream for the first half of this year. I absolutely love the texture of it. Again, this has 0 silicones in it, but just works so beautifully on your skin and under makeup. It's so smooth. It's not heavy at all. And I did notice a brightening with this, especially around certain areas of my eyes that tend to be a little darker, like the corners. This area just looked more, you know, awake and vibrant and rejuvenated. This is full of antioxidants. This definitely is a great sort of youth preservation, age prevention eye cream. It's got the CoQ10, it's got the vitamin E, it's also got 5 different derivatives of vitamin C, and I think that is what really helped with the brightening. There's also 8 different types of peptides in here, and of course, cucumber extract, which is just so great at just soothing, calming, depuffing. This pestle and mortar is what I've been obsessed with using the last 2 months because I'm so in love with it. I reviewed it in my last month's favorites. Again, no silicones in here, but the most beautiful, elegant texture imaginable, lightweight, hydrating, creamy, makes the skin around your eyes just feel so beautifully soft. This is potently moisturizing without being heavy. This has the hydrating ingredients, the nourishing oils, the peptides, the antioxidants. It's also got caffeine to depuff. It's just a beautiful formulation. There are a lot heavier eye creams that I'm accustomed to using during the drier winter months, but I feel that I'm going to be using this this is what I plan to use through the winter because it's really that moisturizing. I love that one of my milia disappeared while I was using it. That's not to say that this is going to get rid of milia, but it's to say that it's not encouraging it. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. I hope you find this helpful, and until next time, I'm wishing you great skin health. Bye.